Welcome to the U.S. Energy Information Administration's information session on the 2016 Form Enhancements to the EIA-914 Monthly Crude Oil, Lease Condensate, and Natural Gas Production Report. My name is Jason Chanholtz. I'll be facilitating today's session. The EIA-914 web form has been updated based on user feedback to make it easier to understand and complete. These updates create a dynamic experience that make it easier to enter, save, submit, print, and share data from one platform. Topics we will cover today include fixed table forms and updated pick list values for comments. We will also review the save function and the view submission function released in June 2016. The EIA DataXchange portal is a secure URL used as a point of entry for authorized users to respond to EIA reports. It is accessible using Internet Explorer 10 and beyond, Mozilla Firefox, and Google Chrome. For today's demonstration, we're using Google Chrome. Let's start by opening the new web form to Section 2, the monthly natural gas production section. We will start here as there were no changes made to Section 1 of the form. As you can see in Section 2.1, we now have a fixed table format. This provides a separate row for each production state or region. If you remember the previous version of the web form, we utilized a transaction-based table, which required separate lines for each reported state to be added manually, one at a time. To complete this section, you will simply find the state you wish to report for. Let's choose Colorado in this instance. Then choose the natural gas gross withdrawals production value in million cubic feet. Today, let's add in 500 million cubic feet. Next, we will enter the natural gas lease production sales value, once again in million cubic feet. So here we'll put in 499 million cubic feet. Now we can choose any applicable comments in the comment box. You will want to choose the comment that best describes the situation or situations that affected production in that reference month. Unlike the previous version of the web form, you may choose more than one comment. Additionally, some pick list values allow for an additional written comment. For today's demonstration, let's imagine that we increase production over the previous reference month and choose some appropriate comments. First, let's say we had excellent weather that attributed to our increase in production. So I select comment 6 by checking the box to the left of the comment. Additionally, let's say that we completed a few new wells, so I choose comment 13. This comment actually prompts for additional information. A comment 13A, as you saw pop up on the screen, asks for us to specify the number of new wells, so we enter that we added 2 new wells. Once the comments have been selected, scroll down and hit the green OK at the lower right of the comment box. Another nice feature that we've added is the ability to review your comments without reopening the comment box. Simply hover your mouse over the comment and a small window will show exactly which comments you entered separated by semicolons. Here you can see that we entered comment 6, 13, and 13A. Complete comments will help reduce the need for follow-up questions and help reduce the need for EIA to contact you with those follow-up questions. Now, let's say we also need to report for another state, in this case, Arkansas. First, we'll enter the natural gas gross withdrawals production value. Here, we're going to put in 600 million cubic feet. And our natural gas lease production or sales value, here we'll put in 599 million cubic feet. In this case, let's imagine that this is within our normal production range, nothing really affected production one way or the other, so we have no need to leave a comment, we'll just leave it blank. Moving on to Section 3, monthly crude oil and lease condensate production. Again, we added a fixed table in 3.1 instead of the transactional table. To complete this section, you find the state you wish to report for. Let's choose California this time, and enter the total crude oil and lease condensate production value in barrels. Here we're going to add 2,500 barrels. And again, we choose any applicable comments. For today's demonstration, let's imagine that we decrease production from the previous month due to maintenance caused by a lightning strike. First, I will choose comment number 5, decrease because of weather, for example, storms, cold temperatures, ice, hurricanes, and other weather issues. And while this comment covers my basic needs, I think it might be helpful to add a little more detail. So I scroll down and choose comment 16, other/additional information. This is a free-form comment box that allows you to express the comment in your own words. Here I add that lightning strike caused a downtime of 10 days. And then select the green OK. Once again, comments that have been selected are visible by hovering over with the mouse. If you click next at the bottom, you'll transition to section 4. This is the final section that I want to highlight on the web form today. This is the crude oil and lease condensate run ticket volume, again sales by API gravity. This represents the largest change to the form. Again, we added a fixed table for section 4.1. This contains a separate row for each state with columns for entering volumes of API gravity categories. Similarly to sections 2.1 and 3.1, the previous version of the web form utilized transaction-based tables, which required separate lines for each reported state to be added manually, one at a time. To complete this section, I will look for California and find the appropriate API gravity range. In this instance, 30.1 to 35.0. I now enter my first volume of 1,500 barrels. I also produced in the 45.1 to 50.0 API gravity range in California. I find the associated cell and enter 1,000 barrels. If you have any comments in regards to the information in section 4.1, you add those in section 4.2, and this table is again organized by state. Here I will add a comment explaining that my API gravity range 45.1 to 50.0 in California is lower than normal due to storms. Because we already identified this issue in section 3.1, we can just refer to those comments and simply add 45.1 to 50.0 API, see section 3.1. Now if we scroll to the bottom of the form, you'll see one additional feature that was added June 1st, 2016. This is the ability to save data within the web form. You simply click Save, and you can close the web form and return later to finish your data submission. Once you've clicked Save, you will see a Save Data banner at the top of your page announcing that your data has in fact been saved. It also reminds you that you are still required to go through the pre-check and submit process in order for your data to be received by EIA. That's very important. Remember that save does not equal submit in this instance. The final functionality I would like to share today is the ability to view past submissions. From the home page, expand the Accepted Campaign section. I want to note that if you look to the right under the section, if you look to the right of the section under Mode of Submission, you will see that I have submitted only via web form. Next, back to the left of the page in the column titled Submitted Form, you will see an underlined View Submission option. By clicking this, you are able to open a downloadable version of your previously submitted form. As you can see, it contains the data submitted during that campaign. You can save a copy of this form for your records by clicking the blue Download Submission button at the top of the page. We would like to point out that the PDF mode of submission is still available and has received some minor cosmetic updates. As always, if you opt to use the PDF mode of submission, please be sure to download the new PDF from the EIA DataXchange portal every time you fill out the web form. Within the EIA DataXchange portal, the PDF is available under the Forms tab. Navigate to the section EIA-914 Monthly Crude Oil, Lease Condensate, and Natural Gas Report. Select Submission Templates drop-down, and here you will see the DataXchange PDF listed. This concludes the demonstration of enhancements to the EIA-914 web form. These enhancements are scheduled to go live this week with the opening of the October 2016 campaign. Any future campaigns will utilize this enhanced product. Thank you for your participation today, and if you have any questions, once again, reach out to us by email or via phone, and we should be able to answer them there. Thank you.